Welcome back to the Paramount Sports Complex in Radell, Georgia. Field number 1. Big clash here. Stallions X and the Atlanta Four Stars. Ahead of this game, we'll go into the middle for a little bit of the look or of a look at the pitch from earlier, and then we'll go right into the toss with Lenny Achaibar. If you're accustomed to the Paramount Sports Complex, you typically see a very bare pitch, a pitch that takes turn. I think this one is going to be a little bit different. If you look at it, very grassy. The grass is rolled in, but it's very hard. I would suspect that this will be a more pace-friendly wicket than the typical wicket that you see here at Paramount Sports Complex. In terms of the field itself, we're playing on the westernmost of 3 pitches. So it is going to be 65 yards to the west, about 71 to the east. Straight boundaries are 68 yards each. I don't think that there's going to be any issue. Take the pitch out of the equation, and the team that wins the toss will just prefer to do what they ordinarily do. Whether they bat or bowl first, I think the pitch will be fine. Excellent game coming up.
We want to welcome you to the second game on pitch number 1, the Atlanta Open for 2025. Stallions X is hosting Atlanta Force All-Stars. And we've got the 2 captains here, Sahil from Atlanta Force and Stallion X, Cheyenne Jahangir, U.S. international player, along with umpire Noor Udin. Who's got the coin? All right, so Cheyenne has the coin.
Head is the call. It is tail.
Head is the call, it comes up tail. Cheyenne, you've won the toss. What you'll do?
We'd like to bowl first.
Okay, any reason for bowling first?
It's a fresh tournament. The boys are coming from all over the place. So get going, get in the game before we pick up the bat and try to restrict them as at a low score and try to trace it down then.
Okay, all your players are in for the first game?
Yes, we have our proper 12, one being the impact, and we're ready to go, sir.
All right, so thank you very much. Good luck. Sahil? Not a good toss for you, but...
We would have bowled first too if you won the toss, but our management has done a great job forming a very young team, so looking forward to have the youngsters grab the opportunity when it comes around.
All right, for the audience out there, tell us some of your big name players who have made it to the Atlanta Force this year.
We have Heer Patel, who's a very young local talent. Avik is also a very promising left-arm spinner. Aaron Chainchu, who's a minor league opener for Lightning. So pretty promising youngsters, and hopefully they make the use of the opportunity when it comes around.
All right, so thank you very much and good.
There you hear from the 2 captains. News from the center, as you heard from Lenny Achaibar, is that Stallions X won the toss. Captain Cheyenne Jahangir choosing to have a bowl under very cloudy skies. Lenny Achaibar, good afternoon again. What do you think about the idea when you win the toss under these conditions? Very cloudy, choosing to have a bowl. I think in many instances that seems to make sense. See the long figure of Esanadil marking his run up. He'll probably bowl in the second over, but as of right now, we'll wait to see who takes up the bowling from the northern end of the ground. Once again, just to let you know what happened so far, it is the Stallions X who won the toss. Captain Cheyenne Jahangir choosing to bowl. I would think under these circumstances that you would expect a score somewhere around, I don't know, a good first inning score. You saw this morning that 130 came all the way down to the last over. And I don't know that you'll have a similar type of start here today, but I think under most circumstances you'd favor under cloudy skies to be the one bowling first. Lenny, do you disagree with that statement?
Thank you, Brian. Welcome back for the second game. And I get the feeling that the first game we saw between Unlimited Raiders and the Thunderbolts will set a stage of what is to come in the remaining days, remaining matches of this Atlanta Open in 2025. We saw 130 not holding up. And so we'll have to wait and see what comes here with the news. As you made mention, Stallion X, led by Cheyenne Jahangir, has won the toss and he's elected to bowl first. So he wants to come from behind. He wants to see what the total is set. And then they'll take it from there. So the 2 openers out in the middle. Number 28, Aaron Chenchu, he's having a very good T20 career in this part of the country. He's a quality player, Brian. And Atlanta Force All-Stars will be hoping that they could get a good start from Aaron Chenchu out in the middle. And we'll pick up the other batter in just a second. But the news, Stallions X, they have won the toss, led by Cheyenne, and they've elected to bowl first.
Well, opening the bowling with spin, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not the left arm spin grips the way that you saw it in the first innings. I think you're going to, or in the first match rather. It's going to be an interesting match. I believe this is Usman Khalid who will await that as umpire shouts play. And we're underway. Left arm orthodox around the wicket starting. It's actually going to be Kashif Bhatti leading off with the ball for Stallions X.
Yeah, good start. When you can get these dot balls in, they become very important. And we've seen some very good spin bowling earlier on. Chan Chu is playing across the line of a delivery and he goes through to the keeper.
Looking for a big one, trying to find that area over the leg side. He's seen a number of big hits in that area today, but difference here, he's hitting with the ball turning away from him, so that's inherently a risky shot. Let's see what the rest of the over looks like, but two good balls to start with here by Kashif Bhatti.
Yeah, into the offside, and so 3 dot balls. This has been very good bowling from Kashif. It's given them a really good start, and it's always a big ask from the captain to give the slow bowlers, as we have seen so much in T20 cricket, Brian. It seems to really work. 3 dot balls, good bowling, good start. Aaron Chenchu, the man on strike. And again into the offside, can score. 4 dot balls here for Bhatti.
I don't know that it's necessarily very early to start feeling pressure, but you might just feel that the batter is getting a little bit nervous, wanting to get things going, want something other than a 0 next to your name. So it's going to be interesting to see how he manages these last 2 balls.
And again, he can't score. So this over's gone pretty well. He has gone really good. And we've seen 5 dot balls. Can't ask for a better start from the opening spinner.
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Kashif Bhatti to start. In the air, it will land safely. Couple of runs here, so that breaks a good over. Doesn't necessarily spoil it because you can get through the first over with only conceding 2 runs. You'll take that all day, every day. End of over 1, 2 without loss. Lenny, we're building the plane as we're flying it here, as we seem to not know who is doing the scoring. So for the moment, we will do our best to keep up with the score. I will tell you that the man with the ball in his hand at the top of his mark is going to be Ghulam Mudassar. Saw an excellent spell of hostile left-arm pace bowling throughout the entirety of this Super 8s in the minor leagues a couple of weeks ago. Starts the bowling here. Somebody's starting to populate the scorecard now. Abhinav Sudashanam is the man on strike, facing up to Ghulam Mudassar. And immediately off the mark, working this one down to deep third for a single.
Yeah, quiet start for the Atlanta Force All-Stars. They have been sent in by Stallions X. And Brian, we've seen in the past Stallions X has really brought good teams to these tournaments. They've already picked up a bit of minor victory. They won the toss. And we saw a very good over from Kashif. And now we're seeing Ghulam Madasar, who's bowled the ball that is given away one. And will come into bowl to Chenchu.
Hits the bat very hard. He's a good bowler, quick bowler. Kind of reminds me of an Usman Shinwari. Left arm, quick, not really very tall, somewhere around maybe 5'9" or so, 5'10", but hits the bat hard. And I'll tell you that he becomes very difficult to score off of. We've talked the entire day, Lenny, about the left armers bringing the ball across the right-handers with that angle from over the wicket.
And Brian, we talked about the so many left arm spin. Even the fast bowling department, we're seeing quite a few of them also.
I'm interested in knowing from you who the left armers are, either in this game or just on the circuit in the U.S., who most impress you. Left arm fast bowlers, I mean.
Well, you mentioned a name, Usman Shinwari. That's one. I've seen him in the West. Stephen Wigg is by us. He's now beginning to find his footing at a higher level phase. And here we see, we saw Parrot Car. Here we're seeing Ghulam. Well, we've got Netravalka already. Najaf Shaw, it might be. I don't know if it's over the hill, but still he gives you some very good overs. So those are the left arm bowler. Arya Garg, another young fast bowler that you probably want to see develop. So yeah, at the top of my head, I mean, if you give me tonight, I'll come back to you tomorrow.
What a great delivery. Goes thudding into the gloves of wicketkeeper and captain Sharan Jahangir. I'll give you two more names. Ziaul Haq, we were talking about him earlier today. One who we have not yet brought up today, who has always been one of my favorites, Carmine LaRue. Just tremendous left arm pace all the way around. And I'll tell you, it is becoming so more and more difficult to play with. When they have the right angle going across the right-handed batters, it becomes something to really pay attention to.
Yeah, we've seen a very good start here from Ghulam Madasar. Oh, up and over into the offside and could be the first boundary. Big chase here for the fielder. And so a couple of runs off the bat of Abhinav.
Abhinav Sunashanam with that strike over the top. That ends over number 2. The 2 runs coming from that over. Make that off that shot. 4 runs from the over. 6 in all. 6 without loss after 2. Won't go all the way to runs here, Lenny.
Yeah, the batter pouncing on to a ball that he's made good room. Brian, we talked about the complex here. We've seen it in quicker times. Left arm. And this has been another good over here from Kashif Bhatti. With still a ball remaining, but he's kept the Atlanta Force All-Star batsman relatively quiet for the time being, Brian Walters.
Well, last ball coming up almost halfway through the power play. Not yet 10 runs on the board. You'll get 10 runs here as that's played down the ground for a single. But a really good spell to start here with Kashif Bhatti and Ghulam Adasar operating in tandem. 10 runs after 3.
So the action continues. Game number 2 on this pitch on opening day at the Atlanta Open, Brian. Earlier on we saw the Seattle Thunderbolts winning over Raiders Unlimited. A 130 game. Here is Ghulam. And up.
Oh, simple. I'll tell you. Just really leaning on that one and playing really a nothing shot, Lenny.
Yeah, ball just over the head of Sharad Lumba. Just beating the man inside of the circle, and that probably happened because Sharad, like anything else, you're told to walk in with a bowler.
Well, you're walking in with the bowler, but when the ball is off the bat, he seemed to not pick it up immediately, and I think that's something he'll want to look at again. A little late on the shot, crashing it into that backward point area, no run.
Yeah, we've seen good pace here from Ghulam Adasar. We talked about the many left-arm fast bowler around, and most of them in series, Brian Walters. And we've seen very good fast bowling from the left-armers. They've really come to the fore, even the spinners. We've seen the southpaw category.
Yep. Well, this one here is one of the best. Wanting the single, not going to get it. So runs continue to be difficult to come by.
So earlier in the morning, the opening games, we saw wins for Central Cardinals. They got a win over Clarion Eagles. We saw the Atlanta Lightning getting a win over Colshare. And on this pitch, and folks, as viewers, if you're watching coverage on this pitch, this is pitch number 1. We saw Seattle Thunderbolts getting past Raiders Unlimited not too long ago. So your choice of watching several games at the same time. And also you can follow on Cricket Clubs at PVCC Cricket Clubs.
In the air again, we're testing Mr. Sudashanam to whatever extent we can. The ball goes really. Thought they might have had an opportunity for a single there, Lenny, but tight bowling continues.
Yes, Stallions X have always brought good teams to the Open over the years, Brian. I recall back in 2022, they won when they got past the Atlanta Lightning. And if you recall, that was over at the old ground at Atlanta playing field. And we were reminded from Daniel Lamb, who came, and when I interviewed him, I asked him how is his time in the United States, and he tells me he's been here before. Well, not on this ground, but in the tournament.
Tell you what, there's that pace that we're talking about. Good short ball. Catching the left-handed batter. Abhinav Sudashanam by surprise. Not very easy to go past these batters with the short deliveries, but that's what you saw there from Ghulam Badassar.
Yeah, this serve gone pretty well from him. We saw 2 off the first ball, and then we've seen a string of dot ball, 4 of them in a row. So final ball coming up, a quiet start here for the Atlanta Force All-Stars.
Slower deliver this time. Just tap back to the bowler, no run. A really good over. Again, 4 overs bowled, only 12 runs on the board. Atlanta Force All-Stars are off to a bit of a sluggish start. So over number 5 coming up. I think you'll see that the bowling has been of a quality, Lenny, that has made it difficult for the Atlanta Force All-Stars to get off to a quick start. It's going to be again Kashif Bhatti to continue. Left arm orthodox. Tapped into the offside. May get 2 here if they run hard, and in fact they'll just jog back for that second run. So maybe some signs of movement here early, Lenny, that they want to get on the get things going.
Yeah, the bowling has been so good. We're into the 5th over. They haven't conceded a boundary at a time in which teams talk about the power play advantage and being able to, with 2 fielders outside of the ring, to really get going.
To work this around the corner. Can't get anything in that direction. Ehsan Adil. You'll see him with the ball later on. Good look at young Mr. Ehsan Adil. Always such a joy to be around. Good fast bowler. Probably 6'4" or so. Brings the heat. Moves the ball off the seam both directions. It'll be interesting to see when he comes into ball. Wanting the big hit again and again, missing out on that shot toward that leg side, Lenny.
Yeah, Aaron Chenchu, he's a quality player, and you get the feeling that the X has studied him and have decided that they're going to get the left arm spinner against him, and so far it's been the left arm spin winning.
Forcing this off the back foot, a single down the ground. It's interesting that when he essentially realizes that he can go back on the back foot and punch it in the offside, you can get a single there all day, every day. If you try to hit that same ball over mid-wicket, you'll either miss it completely, which he's done twice, or you'll end up giving an easy catch.
The fact is, I talked about not having a boundary so far, so if you're bowling in the power play session, Brian, and you're not conceding boundaries, you're really bowling good, and they've gone to just about over 3 runs and over.
Instant replay again. What a brilliant over. 3 overs bowled here by, in fact, that was Usman Kadir, according to the scorecard. We'll confirm that shortly. In any event, 15 without loss after 5.
I'm not complaining. Yeah, you do. You can switch halfway.
So 5 gone. We've seen a very slow start from the Atlanta Force All-Stars. Ehsan Adil has been given the ball as Shaw Faisal comes into the box.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy for the Atlanta team. Couple of very good bowlers in Kashif Bhatti, who is vastly experienced, and then Ghulam Mudassir.
Player Shah Faisal, but he's been held down here by first of all Kashif Bhatti and now Isan Adil.
Yeah, the task has been massive for Aran Chenchu. He's a good player, but like I said, the bowling and the conditions really was top class, and he really had to struggle. 13 deliveries, 7 for him. To his credit, he hasn't given up, and he's staying in, hoping that he gets his eye in and make use of those deliveries that he's used. One last chance before the power play, although the task didn't get easy because Ahsan Adil is also very, very good bowler.
And the fact is, he struggled against the left arm spin of Kashif Bhatti. Big appeal, not to say is the umpire. And it goes for a slow start. Powerful put together team.
Behind there are quite a few big players in this tournament, so this is one big side here. In fact, in the background you see Kingsman X, and huge upset to talk about as well already in the tournament.
By the off stump, Shah Faisal. We saw some winners today.
Just in time for the owner of this tournament. He does keep wickets as well. One thing batters, but he cherishes spin bowling, so he could be a key.
Ball and bowling with good steam.
Look at the carry. Said at the hit the deck bowler, and it seamed away. It looked like it landed on the seam, and the wicket keeper Shayan Jahangir took it above his waist.
Yeah, we talked about Aaron Chenchu, Shah Faisal. This is probably his quote unquote home ground. He did a lot of matches. Having have to face the likes of he gave him a hard time so far. Sliced into the offside, could pick up a couple of runs. The runs have been so hard. In fact, it goes away for 4. So much needed boundary off the bat of Aaron Chenchu.
Yeah, that's closed out with that boundary. 5 of the over, 21 for none after 6. Sliced it away. It was fuller in length. No room, but he just carved it away and will take quickest of movers. But the stranglehold continues with Field despite that boundary. 21 for none after power play. No wickets though. That is something that give Atlanta Force some confidence.
So it looks like Usman Khalid has been given the ball here. Shah Faisal, he's another left-arm spinner. And he comes in here, fourth bowler to be used at a time in which they've gone out of the power play with just 21 without loss. And so we've seen very good bowling here. So bowling change. Kashif Bhatti comes off. And a new bowler starts 22 without loss.
Yeah, the same mode of operation though. Left arm spin. More protection because power play is done and dusted. Usman Khalid will have a lot of protection. He's got a sweeper on the off.
Big swing and a miss. He has struggled against the left arm spinners. He that only went for 9 and now Usman Khalid has been given.
Making life very difficult on a pitches that would turn and bounce. This one is not keeping low.
Yeah, he goes unconventional. Still doesn't get it right. Into the glove of the captain, Shayan Jahangir. And Shah Faisal, you talked about wicket-keeping options. Shayan has taken the glove, but not a top-class keeper somewhere out in the field. He gets a short one, pounces on this one, and a much relief boundary comes to Aaron Chenchu, 26 without loss.
Yeah, second boundary in as many overs. That is good news for the Atlanta Force. Good area that he chose as well, because it was short, and we've seen batters guilty of attempting that short pull to square mid-wicket. This time he waited for the ball to turn and arrive and then hit it straight back. Long on is quite wide. It's a good option taken.
So ball punched into the offside. Very well fielded there by the fielder. So the 7th over comes to a close. It's 26 without loss. The Atlanta Force All-Stars having lost the toss, asked to bat first. We've got the two openers out in the middle. 26 for none. So 7 gone is 26 for no loss. Isan Adil will continue. And Shah Faisal, we saw a good pace in the last over. Is that the warm-up pace?
Adil is not express, but because he's so skillful and he hits the seam so often, that makes him look quicker than what he is. And that skill, it's really hard to master as well.
power play.
Yeah, that's the hardest time to bowl, and especially on this pitch as well, when the ball is hard on you. That's your best chance as a batting team to get away to a start. Those left-arm spinners made sure it didn't happen.
Short ball has Sundar Shanam trying to half evasive, half trying to play a shot. In the end, it goes through to the keeper, Cheyenne. 26 for no loss.
Once again, that wasn't an express delivery, but the line of that bouncer and the height was so good that the batter could barely get out of the way. Also, the element of surprise. He wasn't expecting that short delivery. And you look at his excellent bouncer from Ehsan Adil.
Good shot from Abhinav Sundar Shanam. And it finally breaks a jinx of a series of low-scoring shots gone away for 4.
Well, the good thing about that was that he held his shape for long enough. And then he didn't try to hit it hard. Just timed the ball. Strong base. And just a little punch. Not much flourish. Not much of a follow-through, but look how far that ball carried. That is good piece of batting.
Yeah, sure, Faisal. When you look around, it looks like
Well, Usman Khalid's figures have taken a beating in the last over. 3 sixes.
Yeah, we saw 21 coming off that over as Tajinder Singh comes into the attack.
They have options galore. The Stallion X. Obviously, Shan Jayasuriya can bowl. And so can Asif Mahmood, who's a tall all-rounder. He's quite quick. But at the moment, relying on more spin. This time, the off-spin of Tajinder against the left-handed Abhinav, who now must kick himself into action as well.
Yeah, driven straight on the ground. Isan Adil is engaged. And only a single. Shah Faisal, we talked about the Stallions X. They won in 2022. And we've seen the likes of Kingsmen return here. They've been winner Clarion Eagles. You talked about Clarion Eagles. There was an upset this morning. And the Atlanta Lightning, they're all here. They've won at the Atlanta Open and they've returned for season 2025.
Pulling that off-stump line, asking Chenchu to hit against the spin through the offside. Tajinder is also very experienced. He's a good all-rounder. Obviously, he's very handy with the bat. Can fill in with a few overs as well.
Yeah, the run rate is getting close to 6 now, so a welcome spike in what has been a very ordinary 8 overs or so. In fact, 7 overs. We saw a very big 9th over. Yeah, that's a good-looking shot. May have gotten a hand to it, Tajinder, but they'll get a single out in the offside.
He did get a fingertip. That's 54 runs, the partnership as well. 55 now, 2 balls shy of the halfway stage.
Yeah, sure, Faisal. And you talked about the earlier game that we saw, the 10 over mark. It was something around what, 49, the 50 area. So they haven't done anything risky, but they're 55. Well on course of what is happening, what has been par. Oh, good shot. Isan Adil will be the fielder.
Oh!
He is the fielder, but he doesn't stop the boundary. 59 for no loss.
Tajinder not happy. That ball was bouncing awkwardly, but it was struck very, very hard, and Ihsan Adil couldn't put his body behind the line. Flat and hard. Have a look at that. He's taking it too easy at this stage, and now he realized, no, I got to get my body behind. By that time, it was too late. Tall, fast bowler. Looked a bit embarrassing for him. He's lucky that there is not a big crowd here, or they would shout at him. Do you think you're a pro? Don't expect these mistakes from professionals. Halfway stage, it's a 59 for none. The action has really kicked up in the last 3 overs or so. And Lenny Achabar has given way to Brian Walters, who's with all his gadgets and stuff, just about ready. How was your lunch, Brian?
I think I ate it too quickly to even be able to tell you how it was. There is no going down to fine leg to rest for these fast bowlers because you're in the action the very next start of the over.
Yeah, absolutely. Gone are the days. Gone are your days when you can just sit at fine leg for like good half an hour or so after your spell.
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore.
But were you one of those fielders? Though? I kind of have a feeling you must have been a very good fielder too.
I was a very good fielder in my younger days. As I got older, I got closer and closer to the wicket to where I ended up just going first slip to first slip.
Asif Mahmood is the new bowler. He's a very, very prolific all-rounder. Very talented. Still quite young, in his early 20s. Tell you something, I've seen him bowl some fantastic spells in first-class cricket. Really quick, got a good Yorker. He struggled with fitness issues, but when he's fit and going, as we watch at him, he's tall, he's well built. He can hit them a long way as well with the bat in hand. But for now, really interested to see, because I'm seeing him after a while. If he's fully fit, he could be rapid.
Well, it was a very indifferent start earlier on, but they've been picking up momentum in the last several overs, to include that one big over where 21 runs were scored. And in the there we talked about left arm pace in the background, top left of your screen, that is Ziaul Haq. And you'll see him later on in this tournament, up the outside edge running down toward Ehsan Adil. This one he feels some applause around the stadium as Ehsan Adil.
Acknowledging to the applause. In fact, it was us giving him hard time. Smile on his face. He does enjoy his cricket. He's a lovely fellow, you have to say.
Oh, my goodness. One of just the most absolute gems of a human that I've ever come across at any level of cricket anywhere. Just a really good guy. And an excellent bowler, by the way. So I started saying the start was relatively sluggish. Got some momentum toward the post-power play overs. And now going almost at a run a ball. 5.81 and over. That's a wide down the leg side. So that puts the overall run rate for the innings at 5.9. Projection of 118, but they've not yet lost any wickets.
Gone straight up, but lands safely. And Brian, you'll be surprised if I tell you that out of the 3 innings that we've seen on this field, this is the best result of the first 10 overs. They haven't lost a wicket, and they've scored more runs than the previous 2 in their first and second innings of the match. So they were 21 after 7 overs. So that is the kind of resurgence they've had in. That is the Yorker I was talking about, Asif Mahmood.
Not a whole lot you can do with that. When it pitches on the popping crease, you essentially just have to keep it away from the furniture, but not necessarily very many scoring options with that type of ball.
And one more thing to this partnership. This is the best partnership on this field for the first 3 innings that we've seen. We saw lack of partnerships in the first game, and they've come out. Could they accelerate? This is going straight up. Ehsan Adil gets to it and takes it brilliantly. You feel like he had a feeling he owes one for the team. And he put the hard yards and caught it cleanly. That is a magnificent catch.
Well, the misfield on the boundary that went for 4 was pretty ordinary. This is the opposite of ordinary. That is a long run, probably 25 or so yards for the big fast bowler. And just getting there to snap that one, I would say 6 inches off the surface. Really good catch. Sprinting in. This will give us a good luck here. Coming from the center of your screen, now the left rather. And look at that diving attempt. That is not easy. He doffs his cap at the same time. I don't know if he was keeping his cap on his head or doffing it in terms of being able to say thank you very much. That's what I did. But a great piece of fielding nonetheless.
Good knock from Chenchu. He was looking to accelerate. He's perished in the cause after a good opening partnership. Atlanta Force are now 63 for 1. is the turn. The off spinner against the left-hander. Abhinav now will have to pick up the pace. 20 of 33 after Chinchu's dismissal. Can he move up a gear? Dots would not help.
The new batter, Vijay Kumar Mato. He's at the non-striker's end. Tajinder Singh into his second over. He will have better memories of this last over that he bowled than the over that he bowled on Sunday in the MILC final that went for 15 runs. Skied in the air, pretty straightforward catch. Does that look any simpler for Shehan Jayasuriya?
Well, this is what pros do. He made it look very, very simple. No fuss, no celebration even.
And now he's going over to talk to a couple of people. Look how easily he takes this. Well judged, but how soft his hands. Ladies and gentlemen, or more specifically, kids, if you're watching, that is how you take a ball. Just pull your hand back just a little bit to provide that cushion. That ball settles in your palm. That is such a clean catch. 63 for 2. They started off 63 runs to the good and now have lost 2 wickets with no additional runs.
And that was always the danger, because Abhinav realizing he need to pick up the pace after the dismissal of his more belligerent partner. And he perished in the cause and left with 2 new batters who haven't faced a delivery between them. Never ideal. Though you still think that they have time on their hand, because it's only the 12th over. Beautiful pictures coming to you from Sports 360 production. Obviously headed by the one and only Vinod Mamchan. He's around. I don't see him doing much though.
Well, when you're the big boss, you don't need to do very much.
Jason is doing all the work.
You walk around and your underlings do all the heavy lifting. You walk around with your beautiful wife on your shoulders and you just look cute. That really is the only job for Vinod Mamchan these days.
Yeah, but Sport 360 really providing wonderful coverage. Not easy cover, multiple grounds. We've got a full stream coming up from Field 5 as well with commentary, but 3 more venues. And simple stream coming. That is a huge operation. Credit to you guys. Well done. Keep it coming.
That is a double wicket maiden, Shah Faisal. Don't see that very often. I apologize. It's a wicket maiden. The last ball.
Atlanta Fire. Star-studded Atlanta Fire. One of the favorites.
Man, indeed, but that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside, a slow, short ball. I was made for this. Yeah, I was made for this.
Kaushik Bhatti, the experienced man, probably for the first time on these shores. 126 first-class matches for Kaushik Bhatti. 83 T20 games as well. Wealth of experience to go with a lot of skill. He can hit long ball as well. Ideally suited for this format. Into his 3rd over. Started off inside the power play with the new ball. And coming in with 2 new batters. Ideal time to come and exert more pressure.
Well, it's not going to be easy. I said earlier that they were starting off to a very good, got off to a good start. And they looked to sort of accelerate toward the back end of the innings. That acceleration has absolutely slowed down. The run rate now down to 5.25.
What's not slowing down is the ball is following Asana wherever he goes. The ball just follows him, and look at that smile on his face. It's a stranglehold here for these two. Obviously, the gulf of quality and experience way too big.
Boy, really tight bowling.
You notice, Brian, what he does. He doesn't give much time to the batters as well.
Yes.
Turning across the batter and a wide, happily received wide by the Atlanta Force.
Happily received indeed. That's just the second wide of the day, the third extra in all. It's a well-bowled game in all aspects.
Oh, what a beautiful delivery. That little bit of drift away and then turn back into the left-hander. It went over the top of the middle stump.
Look at that wry smile on Kashif Bhatti's face. He knows that he just bowled a gem.
Just a single available. They ran the first run hard, but nothing more than that. 3 of the over. 13 gone, 66 for 2. Tejinder with a slip in place, still looking for wickets. Oh, bowled him. Came in with the arm and went through the defenses. Too good. And the wickets continue to tumble. 63 for none has quickly become 66 for 3.
Wow. So losing 3 and 3 is never a good thing. And I think you see here, you mentioned it. It's the arm ball from Tajinder Singh. Just going on with the arm and beating, I have to say, a pretty lethargic prod. Not really doing anything. And in fact, going across the line. You want to keep that one in the V. He's looking to work that into the leg side. And you'll pay for that every time if the ball is on the stumps. Unfortunately, for the Atlanta Four Stars, they're collapsing in a heap here. As you mentioned, Shah Faisal, 63 without loss becomes 63 for 3 or 66 for 3, and they're in all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, and the cult hero from this part of the world, Ridwan Palash, has made it to the middle. He's an ever-present with Atlanta Fire rather. Doesn't normally get to play a lot of games, but he's the heartbeat of that team, and probably this time trying to use his experience and play alongside the youngsters of Atlanta Force and also get some game time. Hardly ever does. Be interesting to see. I've seen him in Atlanta Fire colors every year for the last so many years, but I can't remember when did he
actually
play. Yeah, and when did he bat? Long time ago. See if he still got it. He tells me he still got it. That's his chance.
Immediately off the mark here. Interesting field position. There's a leg slip for Ridwan Palash. I want to see if that position is kept there for both batters. And each batter with 1 run against their name, so this certainly wouldn't be a bad idea to put some pressure on them.
The spinners have really bowled well. Tejinder, who bowled a wicket made in the last one, has got the wicket on the first delivery again. This won't be made in, but he's already got the wicket. But yeah, at the halfway stage, they looked so promising with 60 for none. Next 3.5 overs, they've gone nowhere.
If you want to think of what a big score looks like, maybe not a big score, if a competitive score, if you want to define a competitive score as, let's say, 130, the game this morning, the first innings was 130, it got into the last over. So let's use that as a sort of a high water mark. From here, you'll need to go at 10 and over to get to 130. Oh, missed that. There's a no ball. My apologies. No ball into the free hit. How much trouble is a spinner in from 3 steps who bowls a no ball?
He actually knocked the bail off with his knee.
Ah, missed it live.
Helped it on its way, making full use of that free hit. Vijay Kumar needed that. And so did Atlanta Force. And that will make it into a good over. Because the free hit boundary and singles have kept coming in this over. Just using the pace and lifting it over that fielder in the ring.
So it's a free hit, so not much risk in that shot. In fact, no risk whatsoever in that shot. But you'd want that ball to be more outside the line of off stump if you're Tajin Singh.
Just like that.
Yep, that would have been perfect. Make him hit your good balls for 6. But the delivery that goes down the leg side certainly is not going to be one that is going to do you much good.
Asana again. And I think its teammates are giving him hard time as well. Every time, even if you can see a closer look of Hassan, he's still got a smile on his face. He's getting hard time from his teammates. Over comes to an end. It's 74 for 3 after 14.
Atlanta Fire. Star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man, deep, and that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
Team over. Asif Mahmood once again fallen straight. And Ridwan Palash's knock has come to an end.
63 without loss. Fast forward a few deliveries, 74 for 4. Maybe the question now, Shah Faisal, is whether or not the Atlanta 4 Stars can get past 100. Full and straight, as you mentioned, top of middle. You like seeing that as a fast bowler. That is a length that is not easy to drive, particularly if there's any sideways movement. I don't want to see a replay again, but I got the sense that moved slightly off the pitch. Look, this should tell us here. Just full and straight. Full and straight, not that middle stump. That's the idea.
Yeah, just a bit quick for Palash, or probably he's not in the best of nick. But Asif Mahmood won't be complaining. Second wicket for the tall fast bowler. And now you can see Smiles returning. And Stallion next. They were in control throughout, but that little flurry between over number 7 and 11 really would have threatened them quite briefly. Their strength and depth and quality is just too much. So strong comeback, and this collapse can only end if there is a partnership.
Well, you realize that things are going to be much more difficult at this stage. It's not going to be easy against Asif Mahmood, as you mentioned. Tall, fast bowler, and he seems to be warming up now. The first over was maybe 75%. He's now about 90% is what it looks like. Oh.
Single, I thought the fielder was closing in. Tejinder probably hanging back a little bit, but once again that Yorker zooming in on those stumps.
Well,
ball is following you, Hassan. So yeah, that's correct. trace down the leg side. Just a little bit of a fall in his action, falling away and dragging that ball across. 76 for 4. This innings has gone nowhere, and looking at the strength in the batting department also for the Stallion X. That man Hassan Adil once again called into action.
Well, you know, you mentioned the strength of the batting order, and it's a tremendous batting side. Oh, my goodness. I mean, they keep coming. Shahan Jahangir, the captain himself, Shahan Jayasuriya, Tajinder Singh. Those three names, not to mention Sharad Lumba. Even you might not even need the youngsters like Arya Kanantha. But I think, and let's not even forget about the man who scored 90 runs in the minor league final on Sunday, Faraz Ali. You would think that if you had a win predictor, Shah Faisal, that it would be about, at this stage, even without this inning being finished, about at least 75-25 at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, the dominance is such that you could feel it. The body language of the Stallion X as well. They're looking very comfortable, just enjoying a day out now in the sunny Paramveer.
Yep.
Sun is trying to break through. Helped it on its way just for a single. But these are gorgeous conditions, Brian Walters. You've been to the Atlanta Open when last year, this time of the year. The conditions are just perfect for playing and watching cricket.
It's interesting because this part of the country, it is as likely to be 80 at this time of the year as it is to be 45. And we've had years where we're bundled up over here in October calling this match, and then today where we are all wearing short sleeves, except for you, Shah Faisal, because you were not you without the official sports coat.
Well, for obvious reasons, I have to wear it. Just rolls his big shoulders and tries the middle of the pitch to close out. Over number 15. It's 80 for 4 Atlanta Force with 5 to go.
So 80 for 4 at the end of 15. We've seen a premium on runs here for the Atlanta Force All-Stars. The cricket continues. And Brian Walters' runs have been hard to come by, but they got 63. First wicket fell at 63. You're batting at 80 for 4.
Well, I hate to say it. It feels almost like this is a practice for like an extended net session for the bowling side, because no resistance being offered by the Atlanta Force All-Stars after that first innings, or that first wicket partnership, by the way. Top edge going down to deep third. So Hassan Mohsin, who's now into the attack, has conceded 4 runs, absolutely off the edge, but you'll take those runs any way you can get them.
Yeah, the man on strike, Saeed Askari. Doesn't matter how they come, and now we come down to 28 balls. Atlanta Force, and you talked about the powerful batting lineup from Stallions X. We saw earlier on in the first game, 130 didn't hold up. The question is, what are we looking at? 84 with 28 balls, run a ball will put you to 112.
Well, if you are the Stallions X, very powerful side. Bearing in mind that it's a short tournament and you have to be able to separate yourself from the group, maybe you want to bowl this side out as quickly as possible, Atlanta 4 Stars. Chase the runs in something like 10, 11, 12 overs and get that huge advantage on net run rate.
Yeah, into the onside. Easy single again. And so we come down to 26 ball. We saw some very good spin bowling. Certainly led by Kashif Bhatti. 5 overs. In fact, 4 overs, 1 for 18. And we also saw some very good bowling from Usman Khalid. Tajinder Singh has bowled well. And now Hassan Mohsin given the ball here. So plenty of bowling options. We haven't seen much of Isan Adil. Oh, paddled away, and that's a good-looking shot off the bat of VK Mato, and it's gone away for 4.
You'll accept those. Going down the leg side, a little bit too straight from Hassan Mohsin, and easily stepping inside the line was Vijay Kumar Mato. Steps inside the line, helps himself to 4 runs over fine leg.
Yeah, good shot at a time in which they're looking for runs. Every little bit will count. That's a big chomp. And so we now come down to 25 balls. Brian Walters, we've seen, and we talked about the Stallions X has had good run at the Atlanta Open, having won in 2022. So they come back here looking for more in 2025.
Certainly looking for more, and I would think at this stage, when you're getting to the point where you're getting through the remaining several overs here, you want to just keep pressing home the advantage. That's the idea. End of over number 16, 90 for 4.
So Usman Khalid comes into the attack shot for Brian Walters.
Well, we do look exactly alike in your defense, Lenny Acharbar.
And we come down to 23 balls remaining. Approaching 100, they're up to 91. That'll be a big psychological mark, Brian, if they get to three figure.
It's a psychological advantage, but not much else beyond that, Lenny, because obviously we talked about the batting firepower. We don't need to go over it all again, but you would think that the Stallions X is not thinking right now about whether or not they'll win this game, but how aggressively they need to go after the runs to be able to give themselves an advantage on net run rate.
And Brian, what we've seen the left arm spinners done a lot of work. No batter has really negotiated them pretty well. We saw from the top of the order, Aaron Chenchu struggled against them. So into the hands and out of Usman Khalid, 92 for 4.
Return catches are never easy, but this one is one that he will think that he should have taken, Usman Khalid. Replay telling the story there. I think under most circumstances, as a left-arm slow bowler, you want the return catches to your left, and it wasn't hit very hard. Under most circumstances, he would have wanted to have taken that.
So this over's gone pretty well for Usman. Just a couple of runs. Look at that. Completes with just 2. 17 gone. It's 92 for 4. And Brian Walters, we talked about some early winners. Central Cardinals with an upset over Clarion Eagles. Atlanta Lightning winning. They got the best of Cole's share, and we also saw right here on this pitch, Seattle Thunderbolts got the better of Raiders Unlimited. So already 3 teams with points on the table. Second round games on tap all across the complex.
Kashif Bhatti coming in for his last over here. Left arm spin has done the job. Kashif Bhatti, this is his 3rd over. Lenny, that single has just meant that he's conceded 10 runs in 19 balls bowled.
Smashed a long way outside. Oh my goodness, what an effort from the fielder. But it still may have gone for 6, and that's a massive strike from the batsman.
Oh, Shehan Jayasuriya close to the boundary, signaling that it was in fact 4. Look at this effort, the wonderful effort, catching it and throwing it back. And that's Arya Kanantha, I believe, and he may have done himself a bit of damage. Arya Kanantha, the young man from Houston. And that is a spectacular piece of work. Typically, when Arya Kanantha plays, he plays as a wicket-keeper batter, but he's as good in the field as he is behind the stumps. You saw the effort there.
Ball into the onside. Towards the stumps, and that will take the score up to 92. In fact, 99, Brian. They're on the verge of getting to that 100 mark. 99 for 4. We've seen 7 in this over so far.
Boy. What a spell. Talked about the spell from Kashif Bhatti. He's about to close his spell. A little bit expensive in this over, but I think he did well to strangle the opposition. And then Usman Khalid, I'd say he did the exact same thing when he bowled his spells, or his overs. So really good bowling by this pair.
So the 100 comes up. It comes in the 18th over. And we've seen a good knock so far from VK Mato. Saeed Askari is his partner. 100 on the board.
100 on the board with 2 deliveries remaining in over number 18. Talked about that big partnership up front, 63 runs. This is now the 2nd highest partnership in the innings, worth as of right now some 26 runs.
So reverse into the offside and gone all the way. In fact, gone for 4. It's 104 for 4.
Ehsan Adil knew pretty easily and pretty early that he was not going to have a chance to go after that one. So he just turned and jogged. That's always a safe shot with fine leg inside the circle. Essentially, you make fine leg into a short third and you knock it over his head for 4. That's not a bad option. This is one of the best overs that they've had in a while, the Atlanta 4 Stars. 12 runs in it with 1 ball to come.
So 12 of this over. You're right on that, Brian. But in the 8th over, they got a lot of runs too. They got 21 in one of those overs. So the over comes to a close. 18 gone. It's 104 for 4. So 104 for 4. And Brian, we come down to the last 2 overs. Who's been given the ball here? It looks like Usman Khalid.
It's actually going to be Asif Mahmood. Asif Mahmood has bowled well, bowled with pace. You heard Shah Faisal talking about him earlier, where he's essentially coming back from some time off due to injury. And when he is fully fit, he is lightning fast. I said earlier he looked like he was bowling at about 75%. Appeal for a leg before here. This is going down. But he's a great asset to have, particularly at the death, because he has a really good Yorker. You saw evidence of it earlier in his spell.
Yeah, we saw the usage of Isan Adil. We saw Gulam Mudassar. Now we're seeing Asif Mahmood, the fast bowler to be used. Other than that, we have gone to the spinners of Usman Khalid, Kashif Bhatti, Tajinder Singh, and Hassan Moshin also bowled some seam.
Yep.
Oh, that's a lovely strike into the offside, and may well run away. In fact, fielder will come around. 2 runs off the bat of Saeed Askari.
Just trying to read the tea leaves and see who will be bowling that 20th over. Doesn't make a tremendous amount of difference. The psychological advantage of getting to 100 has been reached, but on balance, not a very challenging score, you don't think. And Ehsan Adil appears to be warming up, so I would guess that he would be the one tasked with bowling the 20th over.
So Saeed Askari has played a good hand considering what has happened. Oh, looking to go with one of those ram shot. Doesn't go too well. Onto the stumps. And another wicket goes on. 107 for 5.
Look at that dance from the bowler Asif Mahmood. Saeed Askari trying the scoop shot. Not a bad idea with fine leg inside the circle, but not a good idea if the ball is on the stumps and full. And so it becomes difficult to get under those balls. And if it's that full and if it's that straight, you're essentially running a risk of having exactly what happened actually happen. So you'll not like that very much, Saeed Askari. 107 for 5. This will give us a good look again. Look at him walk right across, but it's full and it's straight at that length, and he actually edged that onto his stumps. Looking at it live, I thought it was just clean bowled, but edged it back onto his stumps, Lenny. So he helped dismiss himself.
So the captain, Sahil Charania, comes to the middle. And we've got 9 balls remaining, 3 in this one, and then let's see if Isan Adil will bowl the final one. You said he was warming up. So 9 balls remaining, it's 107 for 5. Captain out in the middle along with Mato. Mato has batted well for 21. Yeah, powerful shots past the bowler, can't score. And so Brian, we've got 8 balls remaining.
8 balls remaining coming in, and in fact when Shah Faisal and I were talking, we said let's use sort of as a template for what a good score looks like 130. The score in the first innings from this morning. And by that measure, you're still a little bit far off from it. But you have to acknowledge the fact that, I'll tell you what, earlier on in this innings, after the loss of the 3 quick wickets, after the big opening partnership, we were doubting whether or not they'd get to 100. So having gotten to 108 now with that single down the ground, you're feeling a little bit better, but still very far behind in this game.
Yeah, still on the 6th and over. VK Mato comes back onto strike. He's played a good hand, Brian Walters. 7 balls remaining. And not timed well. We'll close out the 19. So 19 gone. It's 109. 109 for 5. So 19 overs gone. So Isan Adil, as Brian Walters predicted, has been given the ball.
If you want to know the lottery numbers for later on, my number is... No, stop.
So final over, Isan Adil bowled a couple of overs at the start, gave away 10 in 2. He's been given the ball here to finish up. Will come into bowl to VK Mato. 109 for 5, Brian Walters. 115, 120.
Can you try to manufacture about 10 runs from this last over?
Yeah, into the offside. Hands a strike over to the captain, Sahil Charania. And we come down to 5 balls remaining. We saw 130 posted by Raiders Unlimited earlier on.
Ehsan Adil typically bowls a very short of length delivery. not many times that he goes to the Yorker. So if you're looking for a scoop shot to play, and if you wanted to get it, for example, over short third or to the square of deep fine leg, he would be a good bowler to try that type of ramp shot too.
Oh, big shot. Big shot from Sahil. And gone a long way, gone for 6.
Well, if you have that in your armory, no reason to consider playing a scoop shot, Lenny. Rye, look at on Esanadil's face there. This is a hit me ball. This is one that is neither short to cause the batter to take defensive action or evasive action, nor is it full enough to threaten the stumps. This is a ball that any batter at this stage of the innings will be swinging for the fences.
Yeah, well-built man, Sahil. Settles and waits again for Isa Nadil. Full ball into the onside. Has he found the gap? Fielder will come around. Can't get there on time. And that's 4 more runs off the bat of Sahil Charania.
I may have set the target too low. I said, can you try to manufacture 10 runs? Well, they have 11 runs with 3 balls still remaining here in the last over. They're at 120, Lenny. So this is a far cry away from where they were about 10 or so overs ago. Make it 9 overs ago when they were struggling at 66 for 4.
It looks like Sahil will run out of deliveries here. And all of a sudden, how many times batters at the domestic level has put pressure on Isan Adil? 11 off 3 balls. Oh, good shot. Straight down the ground. Fielder will come around Shehan. And does well to keep the ball inside the scamper for a second run. And is he home? Couple of runs. 13 off this over. It's 122 on the board.
Always coming back for the second run. You know the throw is coming to the non-strikers end. Esanadil immediately taking a shot at the strikers end. And I tell you what, if that's a direct hit, he might have found himself short there, Sahil Charania. But he lives to fight another day. 2 balls remaining, and he has 2 more opportunities, you would think, to go after Esanadil here.
Yeah, you're beginning to feel that Sahil has come out a little too late. Does have the potential. We've seen it already. 13 off the server. 2 massive shots. Isan Adil. Into the onside. Will only get 1. Chance for a 2. He comes back. The throw comes in. Good one. And so run out 1. 123 for 6. 123 for 6.
You have to be committed to going for that second run. Even if you run, turn hard and come back quickly and realize that it's not going to be there and then back off. But he jogged the first one and then was hesitating and going back for the second. He was out by a good, 5 yards. Look at this again. If you see the look on the batter himself, this shows the ball going into the outfield. But on the turn, didn't quite see it here in that replay, but he decided very, very late. Shan Jahangir with the easiest of runouts. He'd not even gotten in the shots yet, Sahil Charania. So that is going to be the end of him. A good little cameo toward the back end of the innings, but 1 ball remaining here in the innings, 122 for 6.
Yeah, quick 14 from just 6 ball. So we've got a final ball coming up here. New man on strike, is he? Yes, the new man will be on strike. Run out happened at that end. And this looks like Bolasetti, Geet Bolasetti. Here's the final ball. 123 for 6. And a foolish ball into the onside. That will complete things. And it's 124, Brian. 124 off 120 balls.
124 indeed. So you'll have, in fact, 124. You'll be looking to overhaul 125. 125, to be honest, is a lot further ahead than I thought they would have been at the end of the innings, or at the end of, let's say, the 11th or 12th over. A long way to go, but my goodness, you do have the opportunity to put something positive on the board here, Lenny.
Yeah, we saw them bat quite slowly at the top of the order. Got up to 63 for 1. But then they lost a series of wickets. And look at that. VK Mahato, he was really good. 24 not out. But Sahil Charania, he came and in 6 ball turned things around with a quick 14. We saw Sundarshanam at the top of the order, along with Aaron Chenchu. A little bit slow at the top, but Brian, they put on 61 for the first wicket.
61 very valuable runs. Fell apart in the middle overs, but then made it back up again at the back end. So I think getting a lot further than I thought they would have. The bowlers, I think, were all very good. Maybe slightly with the exception in terms of an economy rate of Ehsan Adil. He's better as a bowler than an 8.3 economy rate would suggest. 3 wickets for Asif Mahmood, excellent. And Tejinder Singh, the part-time bowler, 2 wickets in 3 overs. Excellent stuff from him. So, very long way to go, but you get the sense that at the midpoint stage, even though it's not quite the 75-25 I said earlier, it's probably 63-37 at this stage in terms of who might win this match.
Yeah, 124 posted by the Atlanta Force All-Stars. A powerful put-together Stallions X will reply to 125 from 120 balls. He essentially asking 6, just over 6.
Well, in the meantime, while we wait for the mid-pitch or mid-innings interview with Shah Faisal, we can just talk about whether or not we think, what are the odds of the Atlanta Force All-Stars being able to defend 125 runs, Lenny?
You never know, Brian. I'm not gonna engage in that kind of conversation, whether or not 125 can hold up. But I think we're ready. We go over to Shah Faisal, who's got an interview.
I've got alongside me Asif Mahmood, bowled brilliantly. 3 wickets for you, Asif. How did you find the conditions?
Yeah, thank you so much. Like we are playing here for from last 3 years, 4 years. So we know the condition. So just we make the plans according the condition. So lot of slower ones, so cutters, so that get high success.
Okay, and you like to bowl in the middle phase of the over, or any preference with that? You like to bowl with the new ball? What is your personal preference?
Yeah, I can bowl like every situation, and I like to like bowl on like difficult conditions, difficult situations. So, but it depends on the captain and team management. So they decide to I'm good in the middle. So I'm happy.
In the past, you have struggles with your fitness as well. Coming into this tournament, you had a season of minor league cricket. How you feel body-wise coming into this tournament?
Yeah, I feel good now. Like we have like our new trainer Zach. We are going to work with him. So I went to Australia before last 2 months. So I'm good now, and you can watch me.
Yeah, you look good with the rhythm. Also, we know that you can hit a long ball as well. Probably the target is such you won't be expecting to go out and bat.
Yeah, I think coach it depends on coach, but I'm ready. Thank you.
You bowled very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go well, Asif. Back to you guys in the comm box.
Yeah, we've seen an impressive showing from the Stallions X team. They never allowed the Atlanta Force All-Stars to get away. And Brian, we saw the top of the order. While they did well to preserve the wicket, it was quite slow at the top. But we've seen some very good knock from Aaron Chenchu and Abhinav Sundarshanam.
That was a good one. Straight down the ground. You always like to see them take the fast bowlers right back over their heads. And again, that opening partnership went for all of 63 runs, Lenny. So they were in business there for a while. But then wickets started to tumble. This was an excellent catch by Ehsan Adil, doffing the cap for good measure. Then Tajinder Singh chipping in with a couple of his own to have them under pressure. They were well and truly under pressure, 6 for 4.
Yeah, Tajinder complemented the left arm spin pretty well. And it just goes to show the bowling order has a lot of variations. And Asif Mahmood came in and he picked up a couple of wickets along the way. So not only the spinners did the job, look at that. On the stumps, play and a miss. And wickets keep tumbling.
Oh, you just heard from Asif Mahmood, excellent all-rounder. This is one that should have been taken, very frankly, but in the context of this game, don't know how much of a difference that would have made, Lenny.
Yeah, we saw VK Mato and the others try to stave off some bit of respectability. Ehsan Adil was pretty good, but look at this. Charania was quite brutal into the onside. And then a massive six from him towards the end. So they rallied to go up to 124 in the end. As we look at the latter stages, unfortunately for the All-Stars, this man was run out. Other than that, 124 posted by the All-Stars. We'll take a short break and resume the chase with the X needing 125 from 120 balls.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tarek Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
Atlanta Fire. Star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
And indeed, but that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
Annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tarek Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
Atlanta Fire. Star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
And indeed, but that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
I was made for this. Yeah, I was made for this.
annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tarek Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man in deep, and that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside, a slow, short ball.
Annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tarek Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man in deep, and that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside, a slow, short ball.
Welcome back to field number 1 at the Powerplay Sports Complex, Rydell, Georgia. Stallions X need to see whether or not they can overhaul a target of 125. Shah Faisal, is that doable?
Well, looking at the strength and depth of the Stallion X, they'll be very disappointed if they don't get there, and they'll be still disappointed if they didn't get to do it in good time as well. But this is cricket. Cricket is a funny game. We all know that anything can happen. But on the face of it, I think Stallion X should go past this target with relative ease.
Now, the man with the ball in hand is somebody who is very near and dear to the hearts of this entire commentary area. I see Mom smiling. I see Dad trying to act like he's not looking. Liam Mamchan with the ball in hand, about to open the bowling from the northern end, bowling to Cheyenne Jahangir.
just trying to figure out if Dad is nervous. or
Of
anything.
course he's nervous.
Where's the heartbeat monitor? Vinod Mamchan. You've seen Mom as well. Mom looks more confident.
I tell you what, it's not going to be an easy matchup. Shayan Jahangir is a big game player. You saw him along with Sharad Lumba at the non-strikers end. Shayan Jahangir scored heavily in the recently completed minor league tournament. 2 centuries that I personally witnessed in Grand Prairie, and he does not like to be tied down. He likes to dictate things at the top of the order, and he has the added responsibility of being captain. Maybe he wants to get his team off to a fast start here.
Yeah, but the conditions here are a bit different to
From
Grand Prairie.
This is true. I will fully admit that, yes.
Grand Prairie is one of the best pitches to bat on in the country. We saw that evidence even in the ICC World Cup as well.
Here's Liam Mamchan. Hammered away in the air. Shayan Jahangir thinks he has 4 runs to start with, and he does.
In that kind of form, Shayan Jahangir, you don't want to give width to him. Liam Mamchan guilty of doing that. He has chance to recover though. But have a look at that, how far wide that ball was.
Yeah, he'll want to get that ball closer to off stump. But let me highlight the fact that Liam Mamchan was out of action for a while with a serious, I believe, knee injury. This is the first that I've seen him bowl since that injury, and he looks to be in really good shape here running in. Overcorrection there going down the leg side.
Yeah, he made sure this time he won't give any room to Shayan Jahangir. Talking about that stroke though, that was incredible because Shayan's weight was still onto that front foot.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't rock back like you would suggest to of that line and length delivery.
So an interesting field, long on and backward square leg. So you're expecting the line to be at Shayan Jahangir's body. Hammered, well stopped in the covers. So with that field, Shah Faisal, you don't want anything outside off stump.
Yeah, that's true. And Shayan, to his credit also, is staying inside the line of the ball, trying to open up that offside. He's seen the field as well, so he's read the plot that Liam would be looking to angle the ball in and cramp him. He doesn't want that front foot to come in the way, so he can allow that free swing of the bat through the offside.
Just not quite getting the radar right yet, Liam Mamchan. You want that ball to be on the line of off stump. You want it to be just short of driving length. That is the general formula, and then you make your changes off of that line and length. And a change in the field now as the deep sweeper goes in on the offside.
Yeah, I think that's more sensible because despite that ball being wide, the last one, there was movement as well away from the right-hander. So if you give him more protection, ask him to come closer to the stumps, still bowl in the channel. This is straying onto the pads. He's got a half and half field in terms of protection in the deep in the power play. One on the offside, one on the on, so just a single. Sharad Lumba will take strike. He had a quiet time of it here in minor league. But then on more profitable surfaces in other venues, he found his touch. He's also a very good player, Sharad Lumba.
Well, Sharad Lumba will not feel much pressure. The scoring rate required is 6.25 and over. That's not necessarily very challenging. And you've gotten to a fast start here with the captain at the other end. Oh, my goodness. 6 over mid-wicket. Whoa. Planted the front foot and goes over the fence for 6.
That is what you call putting pressure on the bowler. That wasn't really a terribly bad delivery. Angling in, trying to cramp him that couple of strides down and got under it and picked it up.
The boundary on the western side of the ground is slightly longer. It's 71 yards as compared to 65 on the eastern side of the ground. That goes probably 15 yards beyond the 71-yard boundary. So that's close to an 88, 89-yard hit. And Liam Mamchan doesn't have a lot of room for error with both of these batters. They both are very quick to punish anything short or full or straight. Much better. That is the line and the length that he needs to bowl.
Yeah, that is spot on. I thought even the previous delivery wasn't bad, but it was just well-manufactured stroke. So the problem with, for a young fast bowler against these type of players, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad ball because they have the ability to convert good balls into runs as well.
You are so right, because most batters of any repute will put away bad balls, but it takes a special batter to make a good ball into a bad ball. And that's what you saw on that fourth delivery from Sharad Lumba. Still not quite getting the radar right, and part of that might have been because he shuffled down the crease again to attack him.
Yeah, T20 cricket is very unforgiving for bowlers. You think it's the first over and he'll get into better rhythm if he bowls another over, but the situation is such that the skippers bowl 1 over spell inside the power play for majority of their bowlers. The second chance may come a bit later for Liam, and that puts added pressure onto you.
Into the deep. Oh, just out of the reach of a diving backward square leg fielder. Not quite able to get to it here, Patel, and it goes away for 4. So an expensive first over comes to an end. 18 runs come from it.
Once again, good length, a little bit of seam movement in. But that early movements into the line in front of the stumps allowed Sharad Lumba to just whip it. And despite the sweeper there, it just went over the boundary. First over done, it's 18 for none.
Well, Avik Dixit will be bowling. A bit of spin. You've seen the combination of spin and pace used a lot in this tournament so far, Shafasal. And Avik Dixit joining the party in terms of slow orthodox bowling to these two powerful right-handers.
Yeah, left arm spin has done well throughout the day. Even in the power play with the newer ball. Slip in place. It's important to see because in the power play you need to be on top of your skills.
So look at the field that is set for the right-handers. 2 right-handed batters. There's a deep extra cover and there's a long off. Notably, mid-on is inside the circle. And so you're trying to tempt mid-on or tempt the batter to hit over mid-on. In doing so, he'd be hitting against the spin. And so that's why you bring the left armer on to bowl inside the power play to see if you can induce a rash shot from both of these right-handed batters.
Also the point I was making, the left arm spinners, the most of them who bowl inside the power play, they have a good arm ball as well, coming in to the right-handers. To have that variation.
Unfortunately, if you don't have a lot of runs to defend, Shafai Salaba, the last thing you want to do is have a lot of extras. 4 wides and also far in the 8 legal deliveries bowled. In fact, 7 legal deliveries bowled in this innings. Did I just see him throw that with his right hand?
You did, and that is...
Oh my. So he's ambidextrous apparently. If we can get another look at that. He fielded that ball. He's a left-handed finger spinner, but he fielded that ball and fired at the keeper with his right hand. Hammered just over the top of mid-on, and it will go for 4.
Yeah, inside power play, not easy for the youngster against 2 very good players. Although it was aerial, mid-on was up in the ring. It went just probably fingertips it over the bar. Boundaries keep coming. It's a good start for the Stallion X. Couldn't get under to get more elevation.
Tell you what, that's a good delivery. It's a good comeback. Extra bounce. In fact, I saw the umpires just signal. So a couple of runs, make that a couple of dots after that 4. You want to see them eat into this chase as much as possible. Make the game stretch all the way as deep as you can. Yes, it's a very strong batting side. That's fired down the leg side. That will not help. In fact, it might go close to the boundary, just stopping short. But they'll run 2, so 3 wides in addition to the runs that you've conceded so far. You don't need any more of those.
Yeah, that's not a good start with the ball for the Atlanta Force. Not defending a huge total. Sometimes when you have that small total, you go searching for wickets, and that can also result in wayward bowling.
I certainly take your point, and that's something that we can probably start talking about as we get into the next over. 2 overs in the books, 27 without loss.
Atlanta Fire. Star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man in deep, and that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
So you don't have a lot of runs to play with. 27 runs after 2 overs, defending 125 is not exactly what you want. New bowler into the attack, left arm orthodox. Here Patel, oh my goodness. Sharad Lumber will feel that he missed out on that one.
The ball got stuck in the pitch a little bit and couldn't wait long enough.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I believe he was trying to do with the first delivery. Got away with the first one here, Patel. This one is put away for 4.
Slightly short, angling in, and picked the length up very quickly. That's the key. And have a look at those fast hands as well. Through the ball. Plenty of wide open spaces as it's still power play. That represents a very good start now for the Stallion X.
Well, you are 14 deliveries into this innings and already have 25% of the runs needed for victory. Play through the offside. Should be a couple of runs. Don't think it will have the legs to get all the way to the rope. They jog 2. They come back for the 3rd. That's Cheyenne Jahangir's call. And good running between the wickets for the captain.
Yeah, Cheyenne hasn't had much of the strike after those first 4 deliveries, so he ran the 3rd one hard. He wants piece of the action. This is peculiar things that the batters will do, I can tell you, Brian. Hogging the strike is one of the things that real good batters tend to manipulate that.
My goodness, that line and that length need to be improved. You want to pitch that up, Shah Faisal, and you want it to be not so straight.
Yeah, when there is so much turn available, that length is asking for trouble. And footwork was good. Cheyenne did what he needed to do in great style, but you still have to think that the lengths have to be better for the Atlanta Force bowlers.
That's much better. Maybe a touch too wide, but that length is the one that you want.
Yeah, we've seen the least amount of spin in this innings from spinners compared to what we've seen throughout the day, even with the new ball. That also represents that the bowlers are a bit tense. They're not giving it the rip that they normally would. That is the pressure of the situation. It gets your body stiffen up and tight shoulders. It's another expensive over has come to an end. 39 for none after 3.
Of it, Dixon. A bit expensive, 9 runs, but from those 9, you had 3 wides. That is powered away into no man's land. This game, Shah Faisal, will not keep going if these bowlers don't pitch up the ball.
Yeah, once again short, although the line wasn't too bad. But look at how Cheyenne walked right across his stumps and dragged it from way outside the off stump into empty spaces on the onside. That is good proactive batting. Have a look at how he comes right across and then another step across.
Yes.
To just drag it. That is good batting.
Well, you have in the deep, long off, as Ridwan Palash, and you have deep extra cover. Acres of room out there if you want to score big, but you have to make them play your good balls, Shah Faisal.
Yeah, absolutely. What I'm surprised, I don't think if the character of the pitch has changed, but it's just we haven't seen spin at all for the first time in all the 4 innings we've seen, and that makes batter's job a lot easier. He's not going to spin if you bowl that quick, by the way.
That was a medium pacer. So, look, you're needing to score from here 4.91 runs and over to win. You're scoring at almost 13s, Shah Faisal. So this game may not make it to over number 15 unless there's a tremendous improvement from the bowling side. Oh, that almost carried. He'll get a single into the deep, but backward point was almost in with a chance for a catch there. That's Abhinav Sudashanam. Almost had it carried into his hands.
Another dot. It's clear that the bowlers are not willing to flight the ball because such is the pressure from these two. And hence the threat has been minimized.
Well, the last couple have been good. In fact, this over, take away the long hop to start the over, you've only conceded 2 runs in the over. This one is going to be wide, and that continues to be an area of concern.
Yeah, they're under immense pressure. It's obvious. Probably in another situation, these bowlers will be executing their skills much better. Not to be today. Another wide.
So, I tell you, that is off camera, the great Stephen Taylor walking by. Just won the championship in the minor leagues the other day. And I will tell you that is played into the offside for a dot. That is yet another expensive over. 8 runs coming from it, though, believe it or not, the least expensive over in the inning so far. After 4, 47 without loss.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tariq Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
Shot Faisal Stallions X scoring at the rate of 11.75 and over. Abdullah Quadri, left arm pace into the attack from the northern end of the ground. 2 overs remaining inside the power play.
Abdullah Qadri is quite a good bowler. We've seen him before. Just wondering, with such a low total to defend, coming on with 47 already on the board.
Immediately helping it into the deep. The field is set for that exact shot, though. So just a single into the deep. So anytime you're conceding 12 runs and over, you'll accept a single. There in the shot, you see Stephen Taylor. I mentioned he won the championship. Atlanta Fire did this past Sunday, and in fact, he had a captain's knock, and it was not necessarily about the runs that he scored, as that's whipped away into the deep again, but the fact that he came out to bat with a fractured bone in his left hand. He's a left-handed batter. He bit the bullet, went on adrenaline, and came in and put 20 runs on the board, including one of the bigger sixes that you've seen him hit in his entire career.
Yeah, Stephen Taylor has been fantastic for Atlanta Fire. And still, Atlanta Fire is playing. He's just walking around, taking it easy. I think easing into the week of Atlanta Open, trying to make sure he's ready for the big games when they come.
By the way, bottom column on your screen says Avik Dixit is the bowler. I can assure you that is not Avik Dixit bowling, that is Abdullah Quadri. But your 47 runs make that 49 runs to the good, and in fact, I think they might have heard me on that one. But only another 76 runs needed for victory from 94 balls, going down the leg side and yet another wide. And that brings up the 50.
I want to see that again because Sharad Lamba has walked across his stumps. We've seen previously umpires being reluctant to give those wides. Not on that occasion. Umpire Ravi called it a wide.
Yeah, I'd love to get a look at that one. Obviously, down the leg side, regardless of whether or not you moved, if it goes behind you and it's down the leg side, it's a wide. But, and there's probably going to be some conversation about that coming up with the new rules changed by the ICC. You and I don't get paid enough to discuss the ramifications of that rule, so we'll just let that one go through to the keeper. A single down to backward square leg. 3 singles and a wide in this over. Good over to start here by Abdullah Quadri.
He's trying to tuck the batters up. Slightly shorter in length. That's where you need to be careful because one leg is up in the ring. Liam Mamchan. And if he allows Sharad or Shayan to get underneath it, they can whip it over the head of him.
Oh, my goodness. Shayan Jahangir doing what you know he can. 6 more.
Yeah, forget about getting under it and scooping it over fine leg. He's got it over mid-wicket. It's again not a terribly bad delivery. Just slower in pace. And he read it from the hand. It went a long way.
Well, earlier I said this game may not make it to the 18th over. At this rate, you're almost halfway there and you're still inside the power play. To me, that translates to this game being finished in the 13th or 14th over unless you start taking wickets. Have to get rid of this opening pair. 57 runs is what they've put together so far.
You said 18 overs. I don't think it's going to last 16.
Somebody might have even said they don't think it's going to last 12. We'll see how that goes. Now, 1 or 2 other smart people in the area said 18. We'll see how far that goes. Sliced away for 4 more.
Yeah, not at this rate. This is good batsmanship as well. You have to admire the stroke play of these two. They probably looked at most ease of all the 4 innings, these two. Just opening up that offside, giving himself some room and carving it away. Bowlers simply don't have any answers at this stage.
Well, I'll give you a stat that will give you a sense of the domination here, Shah Faisal. One ball remaining in over number 5. At the end of the 5th over, the Atlanta Force All-Stars had 15 runs on the board. 4 times that many runs is what you have here. This is again going down the leg side, and you are now almost exactly at the halfway stage in terms of runs needed. You have 62 on the board. You need 63 more to win.
Wow, this is a whirlwind start. The bowlers really don't know what to do. If Liam went for 18, Abdullah Qadri is going for 15. Faring not much better with 1 to go. And the way he's bowling, he's looking to hide the ball from Cheyenne. In scintillating touch.
Over extra cover. Will this have the legs? It may just have the legs, Shah Faisal. Another expensive over comes to an end. 19, the most expensive over in the innings, comes to a close at the end of over number 5, 66 without loss.
I think it's me off according to the schedule, but if you want to take it out, you can. You have to come back after 5. So I'll take it. I'm off. Yeah. I'm off. No.
Seen a big start from Cheyenne Jahangir. Doesn't get better than this. And Sharad Lumba, they really batted well. 66, no pressure at all on the 2 openers out in the middle, Shah Faisal. And we talked about the Stallions X team has always been one of the top teams coming to the Atlanta Open. Here they are in 2025. Impressive start to their campaign. And Cheyenne and Sharad Lumba has really given them a big start. 66 for none. So 5 overs gone. They're going at they're going over 13 runs and over. It could be another bowling change here. We've seen. And it looks like Balasetti comes into the attack here. And Geet Balasetti given the ball here. Shah Faisal, 59 to win from 90 balls. If 90 ball has any relevance. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. How was your break?
Yeah, it was good. Down the leg side, a very loose delivery here from Balasetti. And look at that, gone away for 4, 70 on the board.
Yes, the runs are just flowing. Last over before power play. This clearly is the biggest power play on this Field1, though. We've seen some big totals right behind us at Field2, which is generally a fast scoring ground. But this one, these two, and also if you look, interesting thing, me and Brian were talking about it. Cheyenne Jahangir at one stage had only played 4 deliveries, with Lumba had played quite a lot. And now, even share of strike, 16 and 15 deliveries respectively.
A dominating display from 2 of the best in the business. And Shah Faisal, when you look at the U.S. national team, well, pulled away over square leg, will run away again. A fielder does well to keep the ball to only 2, but in perspective, when you look at the U.S. national team, Andres House, Monarch Patel, Cheyenne Jahangir, top of the order. Probably those 3 that I called, they're probably 3 of the best batsmen in this country today.
Well, the competition is intense. When you say 3 best batters, quite a few may get offended by that. To mention Unmuk Chand, who's having a resurgence this year in minor league championship and getting signed up for big contracts right around the world Unmukhchan. So is Andres Ghost, by the way.
Massive shot again into the onside. Sharad Lumba. And another 6 for him.
Yeah, magnificent strike. The bowlers are clueless here. Put under immense pressure. Just got down on one knee and walloped it near to the food truck. It was pretty spicy from Lumba.
And Shaw Faisal, I recall back in 2022, I talked about the year in which Stallions X won the championship. They brought a very big team. In fact, we saw the likes of Carrie Pierre was on that team. Unmukhchan was in that team. A chance! And gone. So that's the end of Lumba. He goes for 39. The breakthrough comes. 79 for 1.
Well. Some reprieve for the Atlanta Force. They were put under immense pressure, taken to cleaners. Sharad Lumba once couldn't find the meat of the bat. Will have to depart, although he's played a wonderful knock, getting himself and his team off to a great start with the bat in this Atlanta Open. Success for Atlanta Force, but not before Lumba had made 39. He's walking back, and it's 79 for 1.
So Usman Khan comes to the middle. And that will complete a successful over. 79 for 1.
Have another look at Lumba's dismissal. The bat turning in his face. He's looking to go onto the onside. It was too full. In the end, he couldn't change the shot to go over extra cover. And 79 for 1 after the power play.
And Shaw Faisal, let's talk about the group. Couple of groups, 10 teams in the competition this year. 2 groups, Group A and Group B. And it looks like Group A is the one, of course, where Stallions X comes from, and known as the Group of Death. Atlanta Fire, Stallions X, of course, Seattle Thunderbolts, Raiders Unlimited, and the Atlanta Force. That's the 5 team in that zone, the Group of Death. And when you look at Group B, we've got the Atlanta Lightning, Central Cardinals, Clarion Eagles, Cole Share, and the Kingsmen. So we've got 2 big groups.
Well,
Sahil comes into the attack.
The lineup of teams that you went through, I would think 8 teams are pretty evenly matched. And on their day, they can beat anyone. That makes for interesting contest. We saw a very close contest in the first game here.
So Jahangir gets a shot out towards the offside, and he continues to pile on the runs. Shaw Faisal, 47 international representation for him spread across those League 2 matches that they've been ongoing for the last 4 years, and then T20 international. So he's got some experience at the international level under his belt, and has been a top player there as Usman Khan, a player that you mentioned, Shaw Faisal, has played at the international level.
He's a current Pakistan international. Remember, we were in New York last year in the T20 World Cup. He featured there for Pakistan.
Yeah, cut away. Can't beat the fielder.
He would have gone if that had hit the stumps. He'd already given up. Slight misjudgment in running. Usman Khan is unorthodox, but he is mighty effective. He has his own way. He's particularly good against spin, Usman Khan.
So we've seen a very good knock so far. Big opening stand between Sharad Lumba and Cheyenne over the offside. Has he found the gap? Yes, he has. And that's another boundary of the batter, Cheyenne Jahangir. He manipulates the positions them so well.
Yeah, look at that front leg as well. Didn't try to come across, just holds his position. Very, very strong base. You notice with Cheyenne, he's not moving back and across a lot. He just gets into a position and then holds it for the ball to arrive and then allows the free swing of the arm.
This one into the onside. Could go all the way. Yes, it has again. Over the fence. And another massive hit from Cheyenne Jahangir, gone for 6.
Yeah, that is sensational hitting. Length ball, but still the uncomplicated swing of the bat. He hardly looks to be slogging. There is no hint of that. It's very cultured, hard hitting from Cheyenne Jahangir. The key being he holds his shape so nicely.
Yeah, he's up to 42. And we haven't seen a half century on this pitch. Not sure if a half century was scored in the other game. So many games happening at the same time. Ball outside the off stump. There's no hiding here at all. Ball it wide and it will be called a wide. Go down the leg side and you'll be called a wide. You bowl to Cheyenne Jahangir and he's going to play shots.
Yeah, you talk about so many games. I mean, the first few days of these tournaments is very hard to keep track of what's happening all around you.
Again outside the off stump, called a wide.
Sahil Charania, who's a big hitter himself, is at the other side of the stick now, trying to hide the ball from Cheyenne.
Yeah, we saw he got a quick 14 just off 6 balls. Took a couple of balls, one across the rope and one over the rope off the bowling of Isan Adil. Driven into the offside and can't score. So Sahil under pressure here to finish off this over. We've seen 3 wides already. It's 93 for 1. What a dominating 94 for 1, sorry, and what a dominating display from Stallions X in the opening game of their campaign in 2025. And we talked about a team that has won at the Atlanta Open already, so that has to count for something. Yeah, solid as ever. So that will probably complete the 7th over. It took a while, and after 7, it's 94 for the loss of 1.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tarik Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
Continues. 31 to win from 78. And it looks like Bolosetti will continue. Usman Khan will be the man on strike. And Shah Faisal, I've got a big treat for you in the morning. At 10:30, Stallions X will take on the Atlanta Fire.
Incidentally, I was just looking at the scores for Atlanta Fire, who are playing on that field 5, are up against it, chasing 150. They are 27 for 2, although they're only into the 4th over, so they need to get a victory here because Raiders Unlimited, who lost the first game, they're in action again. That group, like you said, there is no margin for error. So Raiders Unlimited, they lose out today, the second time round, probably there's no way back for them.
So ball worked into the onside, and Shah Faisal, the Atlanta Fire, a couple of days ago, were able, they're the new champs of the Minor League Cricket Championship in 2025.
Yeah, like I said, they've been there and thereabouts, that heartbreak of 2022. You could not be happier for them because I, for one, see them from close quarters, how much hard work they put in, what dedication the franchise owner Hassan Tariq has and his team as well. It was great news for the whole area actually, because Atlanta Lightning also featured. But Atlanta Lightning, they were the deserved winner. I think they were the best team, not only in this division, but they outplayed the teams from your neck of the woods, both of them. Stallions and Cavaliers weren't even at the races at the playoffs.
The fact is, I think it's the first time that a team has won from the Atlantic Conference. We've seen the other winners from the Pacific Conference over the years. Shaw Faisal, Silicon Valley Strikers, Thunderbolt, I think, 1 year, and then last year we saw East Bay.
Yeah, so that.
Yeah, Dallas Mustangs also. A good friend Harsh is telling us. So there's quite a few Dallas Mustangs 1 year. And so thank you very much. 8 overs gone, 98 for the loss of 1. We've seen a big knock from Cheyenne. We've seen also a big knock from Sharad Lumber earlier on. And Shaw Faisal, a dominating start to their campaign from the Stallions X.
Yeah, it's just scary to look at the lineups of the teams in both groups. And come the knockout stages, we may have some cracking games. Just hope the weather stays. It's beautiful sunny afternoon now, early evening in fact. But that is good start to the competition, and a lot of the star names, they have made it. There are other events happening at the same time. At one point there was a risk that some of the talent maybe lost out to other events, but it's full strength rosters here at the Atlanta Open. Cheyenne Jahangir and Usman Khan.
Yeah, we talked about a 5-team group. These games, they come fast. Early wins are very important. And you get the feeling the Stallions X will have a good kickoff in their opening game. A slashing shot into the offside. Fielder comes in, takes a catch. And that's the end of Usman Khan. 99 for 2.
He was looking to go big. Usman is the kind of player, he's not going to waste time. Just got under it and went straight to that fielder at square point and taken. That's good bit of success for Sahil Charania. He bowled it wide enough for Usman to get control of that shot. In the end, he was reaching out and couldn't find the middle of the bat. Walks back for 3. It's a 99 for 2.
So Arya Kananta comes to the middle. Got 26 to win. Seen a couple of wickets fall. One off the bowling of Sahil, one off the bowling of Balasetti. And we've seen a fine knock from Shahan, who got them off to a very quick start, in contrast to what we saw when the Atlanta Force All-Stars batted Shaw Faisal. I think at the end of the power play, they were, what, 15 without loss? So Sahil has picked up 1. Will come into bowl to the young man, Kananta. He goes big. Ball number 1. And it goes through to the keeper, Aryan Chanchu.
Well. That's some adventure shown by the youngster. That is the kind of confidence that rubs through when your seniors are hitting it so well and you're in a dominant position as a team. When the youngsters, they want to experiment.
So another wide. Let's look at the extras column. It's been a high one. 15 so far. At a time in which you're just defending 125, Shaw Faisal, you can't afford 15 extras. Wides have total 14. Again, ball outside the off stump. So Sahil has lost the plot.
He has. I think the obvious plan is to bowl wider and hit it, bowl it away from the hitting arc. And obviously the control is lacking, so at times they've gone too wide. That's a massive contribution of 15 extras if you talk about 100, 15% of the runs.
Into the onside. And Kananta he gets off the mark. Hands the strike over to Cheyenne. But you get a feeling Shaw Faisal, the Sahil, might have been better advised to bowl to the new man. Cheyenne, I could understand you want to go wide, you want to keep it away from him, but new man has just come to the crease.
Pace on that occasion. Quite wide, but Cheyenne has also moved across, so with him that tram line, the guideline for the umpire will also move. Cheyenne 5 away from his 50, just 24 balls. Almost striking at close to 200.
Yeah,
that is too wide, but still the umpire thinks it is fair and over comes to an end. 9 done. It is 102 for 2.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man in deep, and that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
So Geet Bolasetti will continue. They need 23 to win. Arya Kananta, the man on strike. Yeah, he goes reverse, beats the keeper, and he runs down towards the deep area, and they come back for a couple.
Even Arya, he's not letting the bowlers to bowl at him. Moving around his crease, bringing out the switch hit.
Yeah, through the offside, and it will run away for 4. He's been looking to play a big shot, and out comes 1.
Yeah, that was a good cricket stroke as well. Generated a lot of power off the back foot through the offside. We haven't seen much of that. And he beat the infield and also beat the sweeper.
Yeah, a lovely shot, brings them closer home. They're 17 runs away. And look at that, smashed into the offside.
Well, I don't think he's going to allow his captain to get to his 50 the way he is swinging, Arya. He wants to finish the job himself, though still 17 needed.
Yeah, tucked into the onside and hands the strike over to a man who could score the first half century on this pitch. In this year's Atlanta Open, we saw earlier on Daniel Lam got among the runs, 20s and 30s in that encounter, but it comes down to 46 from Cheyenne. And there we go. That could be a half century for Cheyenne. Jahangir gone upstairs and gone for 6.
The look of disdain on that fielder who took a couple of steps back and he thought he was in action, but immediately he dropped his head, and that was a sign that it was hit far too well for him to be anywhere close to it. Half century for Cheyenne Jahangir. The skipper leading from the front has really set the stage ablaze here at the Paramveer Sports Complex. It's opening day of Atlanta Fire. Plenty of fireworks from the bat of Cheyenne Jahangir. Well played.
It's the ball down the ground, straight as you like. Fielder does well. And they come back for a couple of runs. So 10 gone, and after 10 it's 117 for 2. They need 8 to win. 117 for the loss of 2. So Sahil will continue. It's 117 for 2. He comes into the attack, and Brian Walters alongside me. Brian, 8 to win.
Lenny, in my old days, I used to bowl long spells. This is not going to be a very long spell. 8 runs needed for victory. Shine Jahangir looks like he wants to get this thing finished inside 11 overs. And they're well on the way to doing that. Truly excellent batting from Shine Jahangir, leading from the front, as we mentioned.
Yeah, we talked about their team in 2022. Was such a powerful put together. Stallions X, Unmuk Chan was in that side. Kari Pierre was in that side. He himself got so much runs in that series. And here they are 3 years later. Brian Walters looking for more. What an impressive start to their campaign.
Tremendous. And I think it's fair to say that the Atlanta Force All-Stars just didn't bring the A game in terms of the bowling attack this time. A bunch of extras, 16 by my unofficial count. And if you're only defending a below par score of 125, I don't think that's nearly enough.
And the fact is, we were talking about the two groups, Brian Walters, and we quickly realized that this match is from the group known as the group of death.
Yes.
When you understand some of the teams in this group: Atlanta Fire, Raiders Unlimited. We saw them, Seattle Thunderbolts, and Stallions X.
Truly an imposing side, early an imposing group. There will be some very good sides that do not make it out of this group, Lenny.
And the fact is also, here is a fixture for you to look forward for tomorrow morning at 10:30. Make sure you're here on time.
No, you're not saying that.
Atlanta Fire takes on Stallions X. I hope they give us this game, this pitch.
Oh.
So Sahil continues to bowl here. We come down to 4 runs remaining. It's 121 on the board.
So the captain can end this with one big blow. You've seen Shine Jahangir now up to 54, 6 fours and 3 sixes, a strike rate of almost 200. Tremendous batting from the captain.
Yeah, we saw also a good knock from Sharad Lamba. They put on 79 for the first wicket. Was always going to be an imposing reply against this team. And now we look forward for their second game, which happens tomorrow morning. It's going to be a big encounter with the Atlanta Fire. So 3 to win. Here is Sahil. The ball that works into the onside, and they go through for 1. I think Cheyenne is allowing the young man, Arya Kananta, to maybe bring it home.
Arya Kananta said this earlier, from the Houston area. His father, Sudhir Kananta, is a great leader in the Houston area in the cricket community. I don't know what Sudhir would think about Arya playing a reverse sweep here.
So the over comes to a close. The scores are level. And it's 124 for 2.
was the winning moment as well. A thoroughly dominating performance from the Stallions X, winning by 8 wickets with plenty of time to spare.
Plenty of time to spare indeed. This dominating performance is not unexpected. Earlier on, we said that the firepower that the Stallions X have would probably see him over the top, but I don't think you expected for this match to finish in as dominating fashion as it did.
Yeah, indeed. But that is an early statement from the Stallions X as well. Like when he was mentioning, they're one of the previous winners. So on the very first day of the tournament, they have made a statement. On the other hand, last year's defending champion, they lost their first game. So things can be really interesting getting into day 2, 3, and 4, because there is a very, very strong lineup of teams here throughout both the groups.
Oh, my goodness, yes. So, well, that's a really picturesque scene in the background, isn't it? For you live here, Shah Faisal, what mountain range are we looking at there?
My geography is not that good.
Anyway, while you get the answer to that question, I will say that the Stallions X, on paper, are a very strong side, and they proved that their performance on the field matches the expectations that you'd get. Look at the batting card. Look at the very top of that batting card. Shan Jangir, 55 from 29, 6 4s, 3 6s. Shard Lumba, fast start, almost a strike rate of 200, 39 from 20. And Arik Anantha, he basically was out there for happy hour. No pressure whatsoever under those circumstances. Finishes up with 13. 18 extras, Shah Faisal. You don't win very many matches defending 125 when you have 18 extras.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it wasn't easy for the Atlanta Force All-Stars. Their bowlers came under some heavy punishment from the get-go. No success whatsoever to begin with. A couple of wickets did come their way, one for Bolisetti and one for Sahil Charania himself. But the gulf of quality, class and experience, just way too much. As we're about to get ready.
Yeah, until we get ready there, we go right now. In fact, we'll be going shortly to Lenny Chaibar for his interview.
So I'm with Sahil Charania. Sahil, a tough day at the office for you. Things didn't go well. What went wrong?
I think just in the beginning, the dots in the power play really added up. And I wish, there were more singles taken. But overall, I feel like it was a really good experience for the youngsters playing in this tournament. And now, when they go back to the league, they know what they can expect and what they got to improve on. So.
Yeah, well, with all fairness, you are in a very tough group. We call it a group of death. Some strong teams in that group. Atlanta Fire, this team that you just played. But talk us through about the bowling performance today when you needed to defend a very subpar score of 124.
Right. And I think, that's what I was working, talking to the team in which let's work on the dots, as many dot balls as they can do. But as the players are learning, they realize every 6 balls, they're bowling 2 or 3 bad balls. And hopefully, as they get older, more experience, they can improve on that. And we'll see better results, hopefully. And then I'm sure these kids growing up, I think in the next 2 to 5 years, I'm sure all these big teams will be reaching out to them. So that'll be something positive to look forward to.
Yeah, it's a pretty young team. Talk us through about your performance. We felt that probably you came in a little too late. Maybe a couple more deliveries could probably take you up to 140, 135.
Yeah, that was the plan. I was looking forward to, 14 to 15 overs come in that moment and, hopefully get a few out of the park. But same thing, I think, in the power play and even in the middle, just the dot balls really kept on adding up. And I feel like if they rotated more strike, and the whole goal for the management, for the team, is to get chances to youngsters. So that's the priority, but I'll see when I can get myself in and, get some more runs in.
Okay, when is your next game? In the morning or afternoon tomorrow?
In the morning.
So you'll have to turn around very quickly. Who you got?
I'm not too sure about it. I'll go and check.
All right, so anyhow, all the best.
Thank you, sir.
So folks, that's the captain, Sahil.
You hear from Sahil Charania. Excellent effort all the way around. Tough day at the office, but again, the Stallions X are a really, really strong side. We'll be going to a few highlights here as you see a tremendous, tremendous effort with the bat more initially with the ball, Shah Faisal, but then with the bats. Tremendous. Yeah,
Fireworks, started from the get-go. Sharad Lamba and Shayan Jahangir were really on song. Sharad Lamba hogged the strike for the first 3 overs, but then Shayan got into it and kept the flow going. Boundaries from both ends with that opening partnership propelling. Shayan really manipulating the field in the power play. Abdullah Qadri, probably the most seasoned of the bowlers, came for heavy punishment. 19 came in his over. He was put to all parts.
Well, you really can't be too straight to either Shayan Jahangir or Sharad Lamba. You saw that. The pressure was taken off of them immediately. In fact, there's no pressure at all built because of the fact, even though you have that wicket that fell there, the work essentially was already done, and the batters coming afterwards really had no challenge whatsoever in getting toward the target. Shayan Jahangir with a couple of lusty blows down toward the end. Arya Kanantha coming in, playing a couple of reverse sweeps to make things interesting, catching the deep here.
And despite the fall of Sharad Lamba and Usman Khan, the runs just kept coming and the target was achieved well inside the 12th over. Shayan Jahangir in the meantime getting to his 50 as well, leading the way from the front, the skipper. And the youngster was offered an opportunity to bat up the order in this star-studded lineup. He had his moments in the sun here at Paramveer, hitting the winning shot. Finally connecting one of those switch hits that he tried all along. Stallion X winning by 8 wickets. A comprehensive win. I think it's just about time to head up for the post-match presentation. Lenia Chaibar has got the man of the match and the winning captain as well. Over to you, Lenny.
Thank you, Shah Faisal. Here we are with the player of the match. None other than Shayan Jahangir with a half century, presented a medal by Brian Walters. And Shayan happens to be the captain of the winning team. Shayan, a good start to this 2025 campaign.
Yes, for sure. I think just coming in, all the boys gelling together and playing their first game, and the unity showed on the field to restrict them and get adjusted to the conditions was good to see by the bowling unit, and for us batters to finish the job with enough overs to spare was always good to see.
You've got some very good left arm spin. You've got good seam bowling. Is this the plan to really bowl a lot of spin in this 20 overs?
It depends. All these wickets are a little bit different from each other, and also the dimensions of the field are not too similar. So depends on what field we're playing on. We'll go with the combination. And the bowlers who haven't really bowled the full quarter today, they're also eager to get going and deliver during crunch situations.
All right, let's talk about the half century. The first one we've seen this season on this pitch. We've only had one game before this one. But you batted really well, fluent. You felt good about this knock today?
It's always good to get some runs at the top and give the team a good power play, and that's my role as well, to just be the enforcer on top of the order and try to get as many runs as I can and make life a little bit easier for our powerhouses down the order.
We see in the fixture tomorrow you're coming up against a team, a brand, a franchise that has just won minor league cricket. A big one for you tomorrow.
For sure, each game is important, and tomorrow Atlanta Fire, they're also a very good franchise. They've been playing good cricket all over America for numerous years, and to play against them is going to be a good challenge and good opportunity to, get deeper into the tournament.
All right, so thank you very much, folks. You're winning captain Shayan Jahangir. Congratulations. So there you have it, folks. Stallions X, an easy victory against the Atlanta Force All-Stars, and that's what we'll do it here from the presentation party. Until then, tomorrow 10:30 is another big game. The Atlanta Fire, they'll take on Stallions X. On behalf of the production team and Cricket 360, we want to say good evening and goodbye, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning.